The ancient Mediterranean was a dazzling tapestry of cultures where empires rose and fell, and the whispers of gods and monsters filled the air. But beneath the grandeur of its temples and the wisdom of its philosophers lay a world far stranger than we often imagine. A world where fiery birds were said to rise from their own ashes, where one wrong answer to a riddle could seal your fate, and where sea monsters lurked beneath the waves, waiting to snap their jaws on unwary sailors. Myths weren't just bedtime stories for these ancient societies. They were the lens through which people understood the forces of nature, the mysteries of existence, and even the behavior of their neighbors. They shaped kingdoms, inspired heroes, and left behind a legacy that lingers even today. In this video, we're diving deep into 20 of the most bizarre, spine-tingling, and mind-bending myths that the Mediterranean has to offer. Each one reveals something profound about the fears, dreams, and imaginations of the people who once lived along those sun-soaked shores. From cursed creatures to legendary labyrinths, you're about to embark on a journey that will make you question how these ancient stories still resonate with us today. Prepare to step into a world where nothing is quite as it seems, and every tale holds a kernel of mystery, horror, or peculiar beauty, ready to unravel these myths. Let's begin. Now turning to the towering and terrifying Cyclops, these one-eyed giants stand as some of the most peculiar beings in Greek mythology. Their story begins with their origins as the children of Uranus and Gaia, primal deities representing the sky and the earth. The Cyclops weren't just lumbering brutes. In myth, they were master craftsmen of divine renown, responsible for forging some of the gods' most iconic weapons. Have you ever wondered how Zeus came to wield his powerful thunderbolt? It was the Cyclops who created it, along with Poseidon's mighty trident and Hades' helmet of invisibility. Their immense skills in crafting divine tools painted them as both awe-inspiring and fearsome. Yet their portrayal wasn't always so grand. In Homer's The Odyssey, the Cyclops were depicted as savage and lawless, most famously Polyphemus, who trapped Odysseus and his men in a cave, leading to one of the most gripping escapes in ancient literature. Beyond their role as mythical beings, the Cyclops also played a part in how ancient people interpreted their natural world. Some historians believe that the idea of the Cyclops may have sprung from the discovery of large, mysterious skulls with a single central cavity, now understood to be the nasal openings of prehistoric elephants found in the Mediterranean. Others suggest that the Cyclops' fiery forges and volcanic associations were inspired by the eruptions and bubbling lava of active volcanoes like Mount Etna. These natural phenomena, with their raw power and unpredictability, were often explained through the lens of myth. The Cyclops, with their singular eye and extraordinary abilities, became symbols of both creation and destruction, leaving a legacy that continues to burn brightly in stories and imaginations today. With the Cyclops' tale now behind us, prepare to encounter a creature equally enigmatic and foreboding as we delve into the next myth. As the next challenge unfolds, we come face to face with the ominous Sphinx, a creature shrouded in mystery and intellect. In Greek mythology, the Sphinx of Thebes was no mere beast but a being of terrifying power and cunning. She was cursed, or perhaps blessed, with an unrelenting mission to pose a riddle to all who crossed her path. Failure to answer correctly meant a swift and fatal end, as she would mercilessly destroy those who could not match her wit. The most famous riddle attributed to her asked, "What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening?" The answer, humanity, symbolizing life's stages, ultimately led to her defeat when Oedipus, with his sharp intellect, solved it, causing the Sphinx to end her own life. Yet her legacy did not end there. The Sphinx became a powerful symbol in both Greek and Egyptian cultures. In Egypt, the Great Sphinx of Giza, a massive limestone statue guarding the pyramids, embodied strength, wisdom, and protection, tying it deeply to their spiritual beliefs about kingship and the cosmos. Meanwhile, in Greek art and literature, images of the Sphinx captured her as both beautiful and fearsome, often seated with the body of a lion, wings of an eagle, and the face of a human. This duality of allure and danger made her a lasting emblem of enigma and the pursuit of knowledge. The myth of the Sphinx reminds us of the fine line between intellect and peril, urging us to consider the cost of solving life's most profound questions. As we leave her shadow behind, we prepare to soar into the flames of immortality with the mythical Phoenix. As the next phase of the journey comes into view, we are drawn to the dazzling legend of the Phoenix, a mythical bird whose story has transcended time and borders. The Phoenix was said to be a magnificent creature with radiant, fiery feathers that shimmered like the sun itself. According to ancient Egyptian mythology, this bird lived for hundreds of years, enjoying a long and majestic life before succumbing to a self-created blaze of flames. But from these very ashes, the Phoenix would rise anew, reborn in perfect form. This extraordinary cycle of fiery death and resurrection transformed the Phoenix into a powerful symbol of immortality, renewal, and resilience. The myth of the Phoenix was not confined to Egypt. It spread far and wide across the Mediterranean. In Greek mythology, the bird was associated with the sun god Helios and symbolized endless cycles of life and death, reflecting the natural rhythms of existence. For the Romans, the Phoenix was a potent representation of strength and eternal life, even becoming a metaphor for the enduring nature of their empire. Philosophers and poets alike, including Herodotus and Ovid, marveled at the bird's story, embedding it deeply into their works. The Phoenix's mythical rebirth held profound meaning for ancient cultures that sought hope in renewal, even in the face of destruction. Its legacy can still be felt today, resonating as a universal symbol of perseverance and transformation. With the Phoenix soaring high, our journey through these myths shifts once more as we venture into the chilling tale of Medusa and her cursed beauty. Now turning to the haunting legend of Medusa, a figure whose tale is as mesmerizing as it is terrifying. Medusa, once a maiden of stunning beauty, was tragically caught in the wrath of the gods. According to Greek mythology, her life took a dark turn when she incurred the ire of Athena, who transformed her enchanting visage into a monstrous form. Her hair became a writhing mass of venomous snakes, and her gaze held the power to turn anyone who looked directly at her into stone. Medusa was not alone in her cursed existence. She was one of the three Gorgon sisters, though she was the only one who was mortal. This made her both vulnerable and unique among her fearsome siblings. The tale of Medusa reaches its dramatic climax with the hero Perseus, whose cunning and bravery set the stage for her ultimate defeat. Armed with a polished bronze shield given to him by Athena, Perseus avoided Medusa's deadly gaze by using the shield's reflection to navigate her lair. With precision and determination, he struck, severing her head from her body. Yet, even in death, Medusa's power endured. Her severed head became a potent weapon, used by Perseus to turn his enemies to stone. From her blood, the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Chrysaor were said to have been born, symbolizing creation arising from destruction. Medusa's story is more than just a tale of horror. It is a complex narrative of beauty, power, and punishment, reflecting themes of jealousy, vengeance, and resilience in Greek mythology. Her image, immortalized in countless artworks from ancient pottery to Renaissance masterpieces, continues to captivate and confront modern audiences. As her petrifying gaze lingers in our minds, we now navigate further into the labyrinthine corridors of mythology, where the legend of the Minotaur awaits. As the next challenge unfolds, we step into the twisting passages of one of the most famous myths of all time, the legend of the Minotaur and the Labyrinth. This chilling tale begins with King Minos of Crete, a ruler whose ambition and cunning were matched only by his obsession with power. According to mythology, Minos offended the gods by refusing to sacrifice a majestic bull sent to him by the sea god Poseidon. As divine punishment, Poseidon cursed Minos' wife, Pasiphae, with an unnatural desire for the bull, resulting in the birth of a creature that was neither man nor beast, the fearsome Minotaur. Seeking to hide this shameful monstrosity, Minos commissioned the brilliant inventor Daedalus to construct an elaborate maze, so complex that escape was deemed impossible. This labyrinth, hidden beneath the palace of Knossos, became the prison for the Minotaur, who fed on the tributes of human lives sent from Athens as part of a peace settlement. The tale takes a heroic turn with Theseus, the brave prince of Athens who volunteered to end the cycle of sacrifices and bring justice. Equipped with a ball of thread given to him by Princess Ariadne, King Minos' daughter, Theseus entered the dark and disorienting labyrinth. By unraveling the thread as he ventured deeper, he ensured a path back to safety. Theseus confronted and slew the Minotaur in a climactic battle, using his courage and cunning to triumph over the monster. The myth of the Minotaur resonates far beyond its dramatic narrative. It reflects ancient fears of entrapment and the struggle to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. The labyrinth itself serves as a potent symbol of human complexity, confusion, and the quest for clarity. This enduring story has inspired countless retellings in art and literature, with the ruins of Knossos on Crete often linked to the legendary maze. As we follow Theseus out of the labyrinth, we prepare to face the next mythic encounter, the deadly allure of the Siren Song. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we sail into one of the most enchanting yet perilous myths of the ancient Mediterranean, the tale of the sirens and their deadly song. These mesmerizing creatures, often described as part human and part bird, or in later depictions, part human and part fish, were said to dwell on rocky islands, luring sailors to their doom with voices so beautiful they defied all reason. According to Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, their haunting melodies promised forbidden knowledge and unimaginable pleasures, a temptation nearly impossible to resist. However, their enchanting songs masked a sinister intent. Those who succumbed would find their ships wrecked on jagged rocks, trapped forever in a watery grave. The hero Odysseus, known for his cunning, encountered the sirens during his long voyage home from the Trojan War. Determined to hear their song without falling victim to their trap, he devised a clever plan. Odysseus ordered his men to block their ears with beeswax so they could safely navigate past the danger. Meanwhile, he had himself tied securely to the mast of his ship, instructing his crew not to release him no matter how much he begged or struggled. As the ship drifted closer, the sirens' beguiling voices filled the air, weaving a spell that gripped Odysseus with an almost unbearable longing. True to his orders, his crew stayed their course, and the ship sailed beyond the reach of the sirens' influence, leaving their beautiful but treacherous songs behind. This myth captures a universal theme of human temptation and the inner struggle to balance desire with reason. While Odysseus' experience highlights the strength of will and ingenuity, the sirens themselves became symbols of dangerous allure, representing the perils of succumbing to short-term gratification at the expense of long-term safety. The story has inspired countless interpretations, from ancient vase paintings depicting the sirens to later myths of mermaids and sea nymphs, proving the enduring fascination with these mysterious figures. Having escaped the sirens' clutches alongside Odysseus, we now venture into another maritime legend, where danger and mystery take the form of twin sea monsters, Scylla and Charybdis. Now turning to the next maritime challenge, we face the terrifying legend of Scylla and Charybdis, twin sea monsters that haunted sailors navigating the narrow Strait of Messina. Scylla, often depicted as a grotesque creature with multiple heads and a serpent-like lower body, lived in a rocky cave on one side of the strait. Her heads, each equipped with razor-sharp teeth, were said to pluck sailors from their ships with horrifying precision. On the opposite side loomed Charybdis, a massive whirlpool personified as a monster that swallowed entire ships in its gaping maw, only to spew them back out in pieces. According to Homer's The Odyssey, These two threats posed an almost impossible choice for any sailor: steer too close to Scylla and lose part of the crew, or veer toward Charybdis and risk the entire ship being swallowed. Odysseus, once again displaying his characteristic cunning, chose what he deemed the lesser of two evils. He carefully guided his ship closer to Scylla, sacrificing a handful of men to her hungry heads but saving the ship from total destruction. This heart-wrenching decision highlights a recurring theme in ancient myths: the inevitability of loss when faced with two equally perilous options. Scylla and Charybdis came to symbolize being caught between a rock and a hard place, a metaphor that still resonates in modern language and storytelling. The tale of these sea monsters reflects not only the dangers of ancient seafaring, but also the broader human challenge of making difficult decisions under pressure. Ancient sailors, armed only with rudimentary navigation tools, would have seen the strait as a proving ground where courage and judgment were tested. The myth also underscores the Mediterranean's role as a cradle of both danger and opportunity, where the interplay between human ingenuity and the unpredictable forces of nature created stories that continue to captivate us today. Leaving behind the strait and its dual terrors, we now shift focus to the mythical foundation of Rome, where the tale of Romulus and Remus unfolds in a story of rivalry and destiny. Moving forward, we navigate from the perilous waters of Scylla and Charybdis to the mythical origins of Rome, where the legend of Romulus and Remus takes center stage. According to Roman mythology, Romulus and Remus were twin brothers born of divine and mortal lineage. Their mother, Silvia, was a Vestal virgin, and their father was believed to be Mars, the god of war. Abandoned as infants and left to drift along the Tiber River, their survival was nothing short of miraculous. The twins were famously rescued and nurtured by a she-wolf, a striking image immortalized in Roman art and monuments. As they grew, the brothers set out to establish a new city but soon found themselves at odds over its location. This sibling rivalry culminated in Romulus killing Remus, an act that cemented Romulus as the founder of Rome. The story of Romulus and Remus is not just a tale of fratricide but a reflection of the brutal realities that underpin the rise of a powerful empire. It embodies themes of sacrifice, ambition, and the complex interplay of destiny and free will. The myth served as a cornerstone of Roman identity, illustrating both the divine favor and the fierce determination that Romans believed defined their civilization. As we delve deeper into this foundational tale, we start to see how myths were used not just to explain the past but to justify political power and cultural dominance. From these roots of rivalry, we move next to another foundational myth that claimed divine origins: the story of Aeneas, the Trojan hero whose journey would establish the lineage of Rome. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we dive into the legend of Aeneas, a tale interwoven with fate, resilience, and divine intervention. Aeneas, a Trojan prince and the son of the goddess Venus and the mortal Anchises, emerged as a symbol of perseverance after the catastrophic fall of Troy. According to myth, Aeneas was chosen by the gods to lead a group of survivors on a perilous journey to establish a new homeland. Guided by visions and prophecies, his odyssey was marked by trials that tested his leadership and resolve. Along the way, he encountered fierce storms, hostile lands, and even a tragic romance with Dido, the queen of Carthage, whose heart was broken when Aeneas left to fulfill his destiny. Eventually, he and his followers reached the shores of Italy, where Aeneas formed alliances and waged battles to secure a future for his descendants. This myth connects Aeneas directly to the founding of Rome, as his lineage would supposedly give rise to Romulus and Remus, linking the city's origins to both the glory of Troy and the will of the gods. The story of Aeneas served as a powerful narrative for the Roman people, reinforcing their belief in their divine origins and destiny to rule. It was not merely a tale of survival but a declaration of Rome's rightful place as a successor to ancient greatness. By tracing their roots back to Aeneas, the Romans legitimized their authority and presented themselves as heirs to a heroic legacy. As we unpack this celebration of heritage and purpose, another figure of the ancient Mediterranean calls for our attention, a goddess whose realm lies in darkness and mystery, introducing us to the enigmatic Hecate. Now turning to the mysterious and shadowy figure of Hecate, we find ourselves immersed in the haunting world of magic, ghosts, and the supernatural. Hecate, a goddess revered in both Greek and Roman mythology, was deeply associated with witchcraft and necromancy, earning her a reputation as the keeper of the night's secrets. Her influence extended to crossroads, those liminal spaces where the mortal and the divine were believed to intertwine. It was said that offerings left at these crossroads, often at the dark of the moon, held the power to invoke her favor or ward off malevolent spirits. Hecate's connection to the underworld and her ability to traverse realms of life and death made her a central figure in rituals intended to harness the forces of the unseen. In the Mediterranean world, she was a symbol of boundaries, not just physical, but also spiritual, taking on the role of a guide for those seeking hidden knowledge or protection against the unknown. Her iconography often depicted her with three faces or bodies, symbolizing her dominion over crossroads and the past, present, and future, a visual representation that reinforced her mysterious and otherworldly nature. Hecate's presence was especially felt during nighttime rituals, where torches, keys, and dogs were prominent symbols associated with her worship. These artifacts embodied her role as a guide and protector for those journeying through dark and uncertain paths, whether literal or figurative. As a figure who seamlessly blended fear and reverence, she offered both a sense of unease and a source of empowerment for those who sought to connect with her. Moving forward, the ancient Mediterranean unveils yet another tale brimming with chaos and cosmic struggle, the legendary battle of the giants known as the Gigantomachy. As the next challenge unfolds, we step into the colossal and thunderous conflict known as the Gigantomachy, where the Olympian gods clashed with the fearsome giants in a battle that shook the foundations of the ancient world. According to Greek mythology, this legendary struggle erupted when the giants, born from the blood of Uranus after his fall, sought to overthrow the gods and claim dominion over the cosmos. The stakes were monumental. This was not merely a fight for power, but a battle to restore cosmic balance and prevent the universe from plunging into chaos. As the giants, said to be towering beings of immense strength, waged war with unbridled fury, the gods united their forces, calling upon their mightiest warriors to confront this existential threat. Central to this myth is the involvement of Zeus wielding his iconic thunderbolts and Athena, whose wisdom and strategic brilliance were pivotal in turning the tide of the battle. In some versions, even the mortal hero Heracles was summoned to ensure victory, highlighting the importance of cooperation between gods and mortals in overcoming chaos. The Gigantomachy symbolized the ancient fear of disorder, reflecting humanity's struggle to find harmony in a world teetering between stability and upheaval. This tale resonated deeply in Mediterranean culture, serving as a reminder of the fragile balance that holds the universe together. The myth's grandeur was immortalized in timeless art, with friezes and sculptures depicting gods and giants locked in combat, their dynamic poses capturing the tension and energy of this celestial war. These artistic representations not only brought the myth to life, but also reinforced its themes of bravery, unity, and the relentless pursuit of order. As the dust settles on this titanic clash, the next myth on our journey ventures into the heart of human longing and love, embodied in the tale of Pygmalion and his living statue. As the next chapter unfolds, we encounter the intriguing tale of Pygmalion, a sculptor whose aspirations and desires transcend the boundaries of reality itself. According to ancient mythology, Pygmalion was a masterful artist who, disillusioned by the imperfections he saw in the world around him, turned away from human companionship and dedicated himself entirely to his craft. In his solitude, he carved an ivory statue of unparalleled beauty, a creation so exquisite it seemed almost alive. As days turned to weeks, Pygmalion found himself enraptured by his own creation, falling deeply in love with the lifeless figure he had sculpted. His admiration grew into a profound longing, a yearning so intense it blurred the lines between reality and fantasy. Pygmalion adorned the statue with fine clothing, bestowed it with gifts, and whispered words of love, all while knowing it could never reciprocate his devotion. However, his fervent prayers to Aphrodite, the goddess of love, did not go unheard. Moved by the depth of his passion, Aphrodite granted his wish, breathing life into the statue and transforming it into a living, breathing woman. Named Galatea in some versions of the tale, she became the embodiment of Pygmalion's dreams made real. This myth of creation, longing, and transformation carries profound implications. It reflects humanity's capacity to imbue inanimate objects with emotion and meaning, revealing the thin veil between devotion and obsession. While it celebrates the power of love and art to transcend the ordinary, it also poses questions about the risks of idealizing perfection and losing touch with reality. The story of Pygmalion captured the imaginations of Mediterranean societies and found its place in countless works of art, from classical sculptures to elaborate frescoes. Each depiction immortalized the moment of transformation, a tribute to the enduring allure of love and the creative spirit. From this intimate tale of devotion, we now steer into a new realm where the stormy skies give rise to one of Greek mythology's most awe-inspiring monsters, the fearsome Typhon. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we encounter Typhon, a being so fearsome that even the gods themselves trembled in his presence. Known as the storm monster in Greek mythology, Typhon was a towering and terrifying figure, described in ancient texts as having 100 serpent heads, each capable of hissing and breathing fire. His eyes blazed with relentless fury, and his voice was said to echo like a cacophony of roaring beasts, striking terror into all who heard it. Typhon was not merely a creature of brute strength. He symbolized the uncontrollable forces of nature, embodying chaos and destruction, from devastating storms to violent volcanic eruptions. According to myth, Typhon emerged as a challenger to Zeus, the king of the gods, in a battle that shook the very foundations of the cosmos. The two clashed in an epic struggle, with Typhon hurling massive stones and fiery winds to overthrow Zeus, while Zeus, wielding his thunderbolts, fought to restore balance to the world. After an intense and cataclysmic battle, Zeus ultimately prevailed, trapping Typhon beneath Mount Etna in Sicily, where his wrathful presence was believed to explain the mountain's volcanic activity. The myth of Typhon served not only to illustrate the Olympian god's power over chaos, but also to personify humanity's awe and fear of nature's most extreme elements. Stories of Typhon's ferocity and Zeus's victory were retold through generations, depicted in dramatic art forms ranging from ancient vase paintings to detailed friezes. This myth reminds us of the ancients' efforts to understand and narrate the unpredictable power of the natural world. As we leave the vivid terror of Typhon behind, we now turn to an entirely different kind of tale, one rooted not in battle but in cunning and deception: the story of the legendary Trojan horse. Now turning to the legendary tale of the Trojan horse, we step into a story where cunning triumphed over sheer might. According to myth, the Greeks, after a grueling 10-year siege of the fortified city of Troy, devised a masterful plan to bring their war to an end. They constructed a massive wooden horse, hollow on the inside, and presented it to the Trojans as a gesture of surrender and a supposed offering to the gods. Unaware of the true purpose of this imposing structure, the Trojans rejoiced, believing their long ordeal had finally come to a close. They wheeled the giant horse into their city as a symbol of their victory, even holding celebrations to mark what they thought was the end of the war. But as the Trojans slept that night, Greek soldiers hidden within the wooden horse emerged, opening the gates of Troy to their waiting comrades. The Greeks swarmed the city, catching the Trojans off guard and ultimately securing their victory. The story of the Trojan horse has since become a timeless lesson in strategy and the dangers of blind trust. It emphasizes how intelligence and deception can sometimes accomplish what brute force cannot. This myth left an enduring mark on Mediterranean culture, influencing countless works of art, from intricate pottery adorned with scenes from the fall of Troy to dramatic retellings in plays and literature. It also gave rise to the term Trojan horse, a metaphor still used today to describe a deceptive tactic that allows foes to infiltrate unsuspecting defenses. This tale, though steeped in mythology, continues to resonate as a powerful reminder of the complexities of human conflict and the value of wit in outmaneuvering adversity. As this tale of cunning fades into the echoes of history, we move forward to another enigmatic mystery of the ancient Mediterranean, the captivating legend of Atlantis. Now turning to the captivating legend of Atlantis, we delve into one of the most enduring mysteries of ancient lore. First introduced by the philosopher Plato in his works titled Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis was described as a powerful and advanced utopian society that thrived roughly 9,000 years before Plato's time. According to his account, Atlantis was an island kingdom of unmatched prosperity, with extraordinary architecture, wealth beyond imagination, and a civilization that supposedly excelled in art, science, and governance. However, this idyllic society fell victim to its own hubris and greed. Plato tells us that the gods, angered by the corruption and moral decay of the Atlanteans, unleashed a series of catastrophic natural disasters. These events, including severe earthquakes and massive floods, ultimately caused Atlantis to sink deep beneath the waves, disappearing forever into the depths of the ocean. While Plato claimed this tale to be a warning against arrogance and the moral failings of civilizations, the story of Atlantis has sparked centuries of debate. Was it a mere allegory or a historical account rooted in some forgotten catastrophe? Scholars continue to debate its origins, with some proposing connections to real-world events, such as the volcanic eruption on the island of Santorini, while others argue that it was purely fictional, designed to illustrate Plato's philosophical ideas. The legend also became a cornerstone of Mediterranean lore, inspiring adventurers, archaeologists, and dreamers to search for the lost city in hopes of uncovering its secrets. From undersea explorations to theories linking Atlantis to places as far-flung as the Americas or Antarctica, the myth has expanded far beyond its Mediterranean roots, becoming a global phenomenon. Its allure persists in art, literature, and popular culture, with countless depictions in books, paintings, and even blockbuster films. The story of Atlantis, whether truth or myth, continues to captivate the human imagination, representing both the heights of human achievement and the risks associated with unchecked ambition. As we leave behind the submerged echoes of Atlantis, our journey takes us to yet another myth of transformation and duality, the fascinating tale of Persephone's dual fate. As the next chapter unfolds, we encounter the poignant myth of Persephone and her dual fate, a tale that intertwines beauty, sorrow, and the eternal cycles of nature. Persephone, the radiant daughter of Demeter, the goddess of harvest, was adored for her grace and innocence, but her idyllic life took a fateful turn when Hades, the god of the underworld, became captivated by her. According to myth, Hades abducted Persephone while she was gathering flowers in a serene meadow, a moment that forever altered the balance of the natural world. Stricken with grief, Demeter scoured the earth in search of her daughter, neglecting her duties as the goddess of agriculture. As a result, the once fertile lands turned barren and famine threatened humanity. Moved by the plight of mortals, Zeus intervened and negotiated Persephone's partial return. However, there was one condition during her time in the underworld: Persephone had consumed pomegranate seeds, a binding act that required her to spend part of each year with Hades. Thus, Persephone was destined to exist between two realms, spending half the year as queen of the underworld and the other half on earth, restoring life and abundance beside her mother. This dual role became a powerful symbol in ancient Mediterranean culture, representing the change of seasons, her departure ushering in the barren months of autumn and winter, and her return heralding the renewal of spring and summer. Yet, beyond its role in explaining nature's cycles, the myth of Persephone carries darker undertones. It speaks of loss, transformation, and resilience, themes that resonated deeply with ancient societies. Persephone's time in the underworld was not purely an existence of despair. Over time, she grew into her identity as a queen, commanding respect and embodying the complexities of power and duality. This tale has inspired countless artistic depictions, from vase paintings that capture her abduction to sculptures portraying her regal yet melancholic presence. The myth of Persephone invites reflection on the dualities of life, joy and sorrow, light and darkness, beginnings and endings. As we emerge from the shadows of the underworld, our journey now flows to the uncharted depths of wisdom and mystery, guided by none other than the enigmatic sea god Proteus. Now turning to the myth of Proteus, we are introduced to one of the most enigmatic figures of ancient Mediterranean lore. Proteus, often referred to as the Old Man of the Sea, was a primordial sea god known for his extraordinary ability to shape-shift into any form he desired. Described as elusive and mysterious, he was said to dwell in the ever-changing tides of the sea, embodying its unpredictability and boundless nature. According to the myth, Proteus possessed the power of prophecy, but there was a catch. He would only reveal his knowledge to those who could capture and hold him despite his constant transformations. Ancient heroes like Menelaus, as told in Homer's tales, sought Proteus for guidance, enduring his metamorphoses into fierce beasts, flowing water, and even flames to wrest his wisdom. This myth of Proteus symbolized the challenges of navigating the volatile and unforgiving seas, a vital lesson for ancient Mediterranean seafarers who relied on both skill and perseverance. Beyond the literal interpretation, Proteus also came to represent the pursuit of hidden truths and the adaptability required to uncover them. His ever-changing form served as a reminder of the fluid and unpredictable nature of existence, urging mortals to remain steadfast and resourceful in their quests. As an enduring figure in mythology, Proteus has been depicted in various works of art, from ancient pottery portraying his transformations to detailed mosaics illustrating his encounters with mortal heroes. His story resonates as a testament to the profound respect and awe the ancient Mediterranean world held for the sea's might and mystery. From the shifting tides of Proteus' domain, our journey continues to the origins of life and rebirth in one of the most peculiar myths of Mediterranean mythology, that of Dionysus' strange and unforgettable birth. As the next phase of the journey comes into focus, the myth of Dionysus' strange birth unveils a story as perplexing as it is profound. Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, pleasure, and celebration, was no ordinary deity, and his origin reflects that mystery. According to the legend, Dionysus was born twice, a rarity even among the gods. His mortal mother, Semele, had been romantically entwined with Zeus, the king of the gods. Tricked by the jealous Hera, Zeus' wife, Semele demanded that Zeus reveal his true divine form. Unable to refuse, Zeus appeared before her in all his glory, but the overwhelming sight of his divine essence resulted in her instant death. However, before Semele perished, Zeus rescued the unborn Dionysus and, in a desperate attempt to save him, sewed the infant into his own thigh. In time, Dionysus was born a second time, emerging from Zeus fully formed. This peculiar birth earned Dionysus the title of the twice-born god, marking him as a unique figure within Greek mythology. His story is often interpreted as a reflection of life, death, and renewal, a cycle deeply tied to the natural world and the agricultural rhythms essential to ancient Mediterranean societies. Moreover, Dionysus became a symbol of transformation and liberation, embodying the intoxicating and paradoxical nature of both creation and chaos. Festivals held in his honor, such as the Dionysia, celebrated these themes with unrestrained revelry, blurring lines between the mortal and the divine, the structured and the wild. The imagery of Dionysus surrounded by grapevines, wine cups, and ecstatic followers became iconic, illustrating his influence over both agricultural prosperity and the uninhibited joy of life. His myth, like the wine he presided over, reminds us of the duality of existence with its joys and sorrows, births and rebirths. As we leave behind this tale of divine origins and renewal, our exploration leads us to an island enshrouded in enchantment, where an alluring yet dangerous figure awaits, Circe, the legendary sorceress. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we arrive at the mysterious island of Aea, home to the legendary enchantress Circe. Known for her extraordinary powers, Circe holds a prominent place in Greek mythology, particularly in Homer's epic, the Odyssey. Her tale begins when Odysseus and his weary crew find themselves on her island during their long voyage home from the Trojan War. Though the island appears idyllic, it harbors a danger that soon reveals itself. According to the myth, Circe welcomes Odysseus' men with a feast, but the food and drink she offers are laced with a potent potion. Once consumed, it transforms the unsuspecting sailors into pigs, a vivid reflection of her mastery over magic and her ability to manipulate nature itself. Yet, as much as she is feared, Circe is also a figure of fascination. Her powers embody the alluring and unpredictable qualities of the unknown, making her both a danger and a wonder to those who encounter her. In many interpretations, she is seen as a symbol of transformation, challenging the boundaries between the human and the animal, the mortal and the divine. The myth takes a dramatic turn when Odysseus, guided by the god Hermes, confronts Circe with a protective herb known as moly. Immune to her magic, he compels her to restore his men to their human forms. Intrigued by his resistance and courage, Circe transitions from adversary to ally, providing Odysseus and his crew with guidance and hospitality for a year before they continue their journey home. This duality in Circe's character, both bewitching and benevolent, cements her legacy as a complex and enduring figure in the Mediterranean mythos. Her island, much like the myths that surround her, represents the allure and danger of venturing into the unfamiliar, a theme that resonates powerfully with the spirit of exploration that defined ancient seafaring cultures. As we leave the bewitching shores of Aea behind, our journey through these ancient myths now beckons toward a deeper understanding of Circe's legacy and the profound influence she continues to wield in storytelling across the ages. As the next chapter of our journey unfolds, we dive deeper into the lasting influence of Circe, whose myth has transcended centuries, captivating storytellers and artists alike. Her duality as both a source of fear and fascination has made her a timeless figure in Mediterranean lore. In ancient Greek literature, Circe's tale embodied themes of transformation, power, and the unpredictable nature of the unknown. However, her story did not remain confined to Homer's verses. Over time, Circe began to take on new dimensions, evolving into a multifaceted character in medieval and Renaissance literature. During the medieval period, she was often depicted as a cautionary figure, symbolizing the dangers of temptation and the seductive power of the feminine. Her portrayal during this era played into the moralistic narratives of the time, where her story was used to warn against indulgence and deviation from societal norms. By the Renaissance, however, Circe's image shifted once again. Artists and writers grew increasingly fascinated by her complexity, portraying her as an emblem of intelligence, mystery, and even liberation. She appeared in numerous works of art, often depicted surrounded by her enchanted animals, a visual representation of her mastery over transformation and the natural world. Poets and playwrights used her story to explore deeper themes of human nature, desire, and the blurred lines between humanity and the divine. Even in modern times, Circe continues to inspire reinterpretations from novels to operas, each breathing new life into her myth and expanding its meaning for contemporary audiences. Her legacy is a testament to the enduring power of myths to adapt and resonate across cultures and eras. From her role as a feared enchantress to a figure of intrigue and intellect, Circe reminds us of the complexity of human stories and the endless ways they can be told. As we reflect on her enduring impact, we prepare to explore the next chapter of Mediterranean mythology, where yet another legendary tale awaits to spark our imagination. As the next phase of the journey comes into focus, we delve into the enigmatic world of Dionysus cults, which spread like wildfire across the Mediterranean, leaving an indelible mark on ancient culture. Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, revelry, and ecstasy, was not merely a figure of myth but the centerpiece of vibrant and often mysterious rituals. His followers, known as the Maenads or Bacchantes, engaged in ceremonies that were both wild and deeply symbolic, blending unrestrained celebrations with profound spiritual meaning. At the heart of these rituals was the concept of catharsis, a release of emotions through ecstatic experiences that connected worshippers to the divine. The Dionysian mysteries were secretive rites celebrated in forests, mountains, or secluded spaces, where participants would dance frantically, chant, and consume wine in honor of the god. These gatherings were not just about indulgence but represented a break from societal constraints, a temporary embrace of freedom, and a connection to primal instincts. Theaters, too, owe much of their origins to Dionysus, as the god was worshipped through dramatic performances during festivals like the Dionysia. Masks played a significant role here, symbolizing transformation and the loss of identity, aligning perfectly with the themes of metamorphosis central to Dionysian worship. These masks, often adorned with exaggerated features, allowed actors to embody the characters of myth and explore human nature's complexity, echoing the god's duality of joy and chaos. While some saw these practices as a source of divine inspiration, others viewed them with suspicion, fearing the potential for disorder and loss of control. Yet, this tension between liberation and restraint is what makes Dionysian cults so fascinating. They reflect a deep yearning to balance the joys and excesses of life with its inherent struggles. Through their rituals, followers sought not only to honor the god but to understand themselves and the mysteries of existence. As we uncover the layers of Dionysus' influence, we turn the page to meet another figure whose story weaves the fabric of Mediterranean myth into a tapestry both strange and wonderful. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we delve into the intriguing myth of Proteus, the elusive sea god of ancient Greek mythology. Known for his remarkable ability to change forms at will, Proteus became a symbol of the ever-changing and unpredictable nature of the sea. Yet, beyond his shape-shifting prowess, Proteus held another, perhaps even more fascinating gift: the power of prophecy. Ancient texts describe Proteus as a reluctant oracle who possessed knowledge of the past, present, and future. However, there was a catch: he would only reveal his insights to those who could capture him, a task as challenging as holding onto water itself. The myth tells of heroes like Menelaus, the king of Sparta, who sought Proteus' wisdom during his long-return journey from Troy. Determined to uncover the secrets needed to navigate safely home, Menelaus, guided by the sea nymph Eidothea, confronted Proteus at the shores of the Egyptian island of Pharos. To extract the truth, Menelaus had to grapple with the god as Proteus transformed into a lion, a serpent, and even a torrent of water before conceding defeat and sharing his prophetic knowledge. This story highlights the ancient belief that wisdom and truth are not easily attained. They require perseverance and bravery. Proteus' resistance to sharing his prophecies also underscores the idea that certain knowledge is sacred, its revelation earned only through great effort. This ancient myth, etched in Greek pottery and art, resonates with humanity's timeless quest for answers to life's great mysteries. By confronting Proteus, ancient heroes symbolically confronted their fears and uncertainties, proving their worthiness to receive enlightenment. Proteus' story remains a poignant reminder of the challenges inherent in seeking knowledge and the courage required to embrace the unknown. From the shifting tides of his myth, we now turn to yet another figure whose legend continues to ripple across the myths of the Mediterranean. Now turning to one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world, the story of Atlantis has fascinated imaginations for centuries and continues to spark debate and exploration even today. First introduced by the philosopher Plato, Atlantis was described as a grand and utopian civilization, rich in knowledge and power, that ultimately succumbed to its own hubris and was destroyed in a catastrophic event, sinking beneath the waves. While Plato's tale was likely intended as an allegory, many have taken it as a historical account, fueling a persistent desire to uncover the truth behind the myth. Modern-day researchers, adventurers, and even casual enthusiasts have dedicated their lives to finding evidence of this fabled city. From claims of underwater ruins in the Mediterranean to speculative theories about locations as far away as the Caribbean or Antarctica, the search for Atlantis has reached every corner of the globe. Advanced technology, including satellite mapping and sonar imaging, has added a scientific edge to this pursuit, with some discoveries of submerged cities and ancient structures only deepening the mystery. Beyond archaeology, Atlantis has left an indelible mark on popular culture. Books, films, and television series have reimagined the lost city as everything from a mystical paradise to a gateway to other worlds. These depictions not only keep the myth alive, but also reflect humanity's enduring fascination with the idea of a lost golden age, a time when knowledge, power, and idealism existed in perfect harmony. The story of Atlantis resonates because it is not just about a city lost to the sea. It is a symbol of human ambition, the fragility of civilizations, and the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of our understanding. As the search for Atlantis continues, it reminds us of the allure of the unknown and our unyielding quest to uncover secrets that could transform how we view history and ourselves. With speculation about Atlantis as compelling as ever, we shift our focus to another tale of transformation, where not cities but statues come to life to tell a story of love and obsession. Now turning to the myth of Pygmalion, we see how ancient stories have a way of transcending time to inspire countless retellings in art, literature, and modern media. At its heart, Pygmalion's tale is one of creation, longing, and transformation. The sculptor who fell in love with his own ivory statue, brought to life by the goddess Aphrodite, has become a metaphor that artists and storytellers revisit again and again. In literature, George Bernard Shaw reimagined the story in his play Pygmalion, where he explored themes of identity and social transformation, swapping out the ivory statue for a young woman molded by education and opportunity. This play later gave birth to the beloved musical My Fair Lady, which brought the tale to the silver screen and into popular culture. The myth's echoes also appear in modern cinema, with films that explore the idea of creating or transforming the ideal companion, such as the science fiction romance Her or the quirky comedy Lars and the Real Girl. Through these interpretations, the core questions persist: what does it mean to seek perfection? And what are the consequences of trying to shape another being to fulfill our desires? Even the realm of visual art has reconnected with Pygmalion's myth, from neoclassical paintings to modern sculptures capturing the moment of awakening where creation meets life. Each retelling reshapes the narrative, highlighting different aspects of love, obsession, and the complexities of human emotion. The timeless appeal of Pygmalion lies in its ability to reflect not just the desires of its characters, but also the ever-changing attitudes of society toward relationships, creativity, and the pursuit of ideals. As this myth continues to inspire, it reminds us of the enduring power of ancient stories to evolve and adapt across cultures and generations. With Pygmalion's story of transformation and its modern echoes explored, we now turn to a tale of divine connection and hidden knowledge, where a shape-shifting sea god holds the answers to life's mysteries. Now turning to the myth of Proteus, we step into the realm of divine knowledge and the ever-changing nature of truth. Proteus, the mysterious sea god from Greek mythology, was famed for his extraordinary ability to transform into any shape or creature to evade capture. But this wasn't merely a show of power, it was a test for those who wished to seek his wisdom had to first catch and hold him. Known as the Old Man of the Sea, Proteus was believed to reside on a secluded island or hidden shore, embodying the elusive and unpredictable nature of the ocean itself. Sailors and heroes of ancient tales would risk everything to confront him, knowing that his prophecies could illuminate their destinies. Proteus' story is best remembered in Homer's Odyssey, where Menelaus, seeking answers to ensure his return home, relentlessly pursued him through a series of bewildering transformations. From a roaring lion to a writhing serpent or even a torrent of water, Proteus fought to escape, but only those with unwavering determination learned his secrets. His tale speaks to a universal truth that wisdom and understanding often require persistence and courage in the face of uncertainty. Interestingly, Proteus' ability to shapeshift also became symbolic of the fluid and ever-changing nature of reality, a theme echoed in later philosophical and literary works. Even today, his myth finds relevance in psychology and storytelling, representing the complexity of identity and the human longing to uncover unshakable truths. As we reflect on Proteus' legacy, we see how his myth challenges us to embrace change and remain steadfast in our search for knowledge amidst life's uncertainties. With this enigmatic figure receding into the waves, we now journey toward the storm-laden skies of another extraordinary tale, where chaos takes form in 100 heads and the battle for cosmic balance begins. As the next phase of the journey unfolds, we encounter Hecate, the ancient goddess of witchcraft, whose influence stretches far beyond the crossroads of ancient myth and into the rituals of modern spirituality. Today, Hecate has been reimagined and embraced within contemporary pagan and witchcraft practices, where she represents wisdom, transformation, and the power of the unseen. Often linked with the moon and the mysteries of the night, Hecate has become a central figure in many modern spiritual paths, embodying the connection between the physical and the spiritual realms. Her association with thresholds and transitions makes her a guide for those seeking personal growth or navigating life's many uncertainties. Modern practitioners pay homage to Hecate through intricate rituals, leaving offerings at crossroads or crafting altars adorned with symbols tied to her ancient lore, such as keys, torches, and depictions of the moon. These ceremonies often honor her as a protector of the vulnerable and a source of strength during times of transformation. Beyond her representation in rituals, Hecate also carries great symbolic weight, inspiring those drawn to her story to embrace their inner power and face their fears with courage. Her role in modern witchcraft reflects a bridge between the ancient and the present, showing how myths can evolve to meet the spiritual needs of new generations. Hecate's story reminds us that even in today's fast-paced world, ancient figures can serve as timeless symbols of perseverance, individuality, and the quest for deeper understanding. With this deepened appreciation for her enduring legacy, we now move forward to another mythic tale, where the boundaries of love and creation blur in a sculptor's dream brought startlingly to life. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we revisit the legendary tales that lay the foundation of Rome itself, stories woven so deeply into its identity that they became celebrated pillars of Roman culture. The myth of Romulus and Remus, nurtured by a she-wolf beneath the shade of history, became a powerful emblem of Rome's strength and resilience. This enduring image graced countless monuments, from statues on the Capitoline Hill to intricate mosaics in Roman villas, immortalizing the city's legendary beginnings. Similarly, the tale of Aeneas, the Trojan hero fated to establish the lineage of Rome, resonated across centuries as a symbol of divine destiny and perseverance. These myths were not just stories but tools of statecraft, reinforcing the grandeur of Rome's imperial ambitions. Festivals such as the Lupercalia were steeped in these foundations, honoring the she-wolf's nurturing role and celebrating themes of fertility and protection. Artists and poets alike drew inspiration from these tales, with figures such as Virgil weaving Aeneas' journey into the epic tapestry of the Aeneid, a cornerstone of Latin literature. The Capitoline wolf itself stands as a monumental representation of these stories, a bridge between myth and history, drawing admiration from ancient citizens and modern travelers alike. Through these celebrations in art, literature, and ceremony, the myths of Rome's foundation were not just preserved but lived, constantly reinterpreted to echo the pride and ambition of a mighty empire. As these tales remind us of Rome's extraordinary beginnings, we now journey onward to encounter a sculptor whose ivory creation challenges the very boundaries of reality and love. Now turning to the enchanting myth of the sirens, these mysterious beings captivated the imaginations of not only the ancient Mediterranean but cultures far beyond. In Greek mythology, the sirens were originally described as bird-like creatures with human faces, luring sailors to their doom with songs so irresistible that no one could escape their call. As their legend spread, the imagery of the sirens began to shift, blending with local folklore and evolving into the more mermaid-like figures that many recognize today. This transformation is particularly evident in the later European traditions, where the sirens became aquatic beings, seamlessly merging with legends of mermaids who similarly bewitched sailors with their beauty and voices. In Norse mythology, we find the lore of sea nymphs and spirits like the Hafru, supernatural beings akin to sirens, who are also known to enchant and deceive. Meanwhile, in Slavic cultures, the Rusalka, a water spirit, shared traits with these deadly seductresses, further illustrating how such myths crossed geographic and cultural boundaries. Even within the Mediterranean itself, variations existed, with some ancient writers describing sirens not only as threats but also as symbols of temptation and unattainable desires. These interpretations reflected the universal human fascination with danger cloaked in beauty, a theme that has resonated for centuries. Across art and storytelling, sirens have remained a compelling subject, from their early depictions on Greek pottery to romanticized portrayals in Renaissance paintings and modern fantasy literature. The shifting image of the sirens highlights how myths adapt and endure, continually reshaped by the cultures that embrace them. As the allure of these captivating figures continues to echo across time, we now sail ahead to meet a goddess who walks the shadowy crossroads of mystery and magic. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us revisit the formidable Cyclops, whose legacy has loomed large not only in ancient texts but in modern storytelling as well. First immortalized in Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, the Cyclops Polyphemus became a symbol of brute strength intertwined with vulnerability. Homer's tale of Odysseus cleverly outwitting this one-eyed giant left such a lasting impression that it became a cornerstone of Western literature, embodying themes of intelligence triumphing over sheer force. This tale gave rise to countless reinterpretations in art and literature, where the Cyclops was often portrayed as both terrifying and tragically isolated. Moving closer to our time, the Cyclops myth underwent yet another transformation, finding new life in the realm of fantasy fiction. For instance, in the book series Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, the Cyclopes are depicted as skilled craftsmen and even allies to the protagonist, presenting them in shades of complexity rarely explored in ancient myths. Beyond literature, the Cyclops has also become a fixture in visual storytelling. Films, television shows, and video games frequently evoke their raw power and otherworldly presence, from the stop-motion animated Polyphemus in the classic movie Jason and the Argonauts to the terrifying yet captivating interpretations in modern fantasy series. This enduring figure has even made its way into popular culture as a metaphor, often representing singular focus or an unyielding obstacle in one's path. Through these various mediums, the Cyclops continues to fascinate and inspire, proving that myths, no matter how ancient, can evolve with each retelling while retaining their core essence. And now, with the echoes of the Cyclops' roar fading into the distance, we step into the shadowy realm of Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft and the unknown. As the sun sets on this captivating journey through the ancient Mediterranean, we find ourselves reflecting on the bizarre yet profoundly meaningful myths that have stood the test of time. These 20 tales, from the fiery rebirth of the Phoenix to the haunting melody of the sirens, from the chaotic storms embodied by Typhon to the enigmatic allure of Circe, reveal the deep fears, boundless imagination, and enduring values of the civilizations that gave rise to them. Each story we explored today showcased how myths served as both mirrors of the human experience and tools to decipher the mysteries of the natural and supernatural worlds. They carried lessons of resilience, warnings against hubris, and reflections on life, death, and the unknown. What makes these myths even more fascinating is their ability to evolve and remain relevant, inspiring modern interpretations in art, literature, and popular culture. It is a testament to their power that they continue to resonate, bridging the ancient and the contemporary. Which of these myths captivated you the most, and are there others you believe deserve to be uncovered? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed unraveling these mysteries with us, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to dive into the enthralling world of historical mysteries. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and remember, the past is never just a story, it is a world waiting to be rediscovered.